Good afternoon, everybody. Pigskin Pete here. Happy Thursday to everybody. Man, am I excited today. Today I'm doing my very first giveaways. The giveaways for the month of February for Patreon contest and Super Chat contest participants. And I've never been so excited to give stuff away in my life. Now, for the Patreon members, I've got this beautiful prepaid Visa gift card. I'll give you a good shot of that if I can get it in the camera here. That's what that looks like. And so I'll do a drawing for that in a minute. Got two guys that have been kind enough and amazing and fantastic enough to sign up for the Patreon page in the month of February. And those two guys are Border Bob and DeGoat Watson. They both are Tier 2 members. So that gives them each 2 entries. So one of those two guys is going to win this beautiful $50 Visa gift card. And I'll send that to you. I'll get it out this week, so you should get it by this time next week, I would imagine. Also, I got, I think, like 15 people that donated through Super Chat for the month of February. It was actually more than February. It was like 5 weeks worth. And I'll go ahead and list off those names real quick. So we had NASA CGI Snakes, Alan V, Tiger Nation, Billy Dawson, Catfish, Hound Dog, Dondre Crawford, Smallvall, NMD TV, The Entertainer Talking Sports, Spencer from Rover Sports, Bad Dog 7676, Josh and Sean from the Sports Fury, SEC Football Tube, and Sun Zoo. Now, the way I did that was each dollar that was donated got you 1 entry into the contest. And so if you gave $100 like Smallvall did, you got 100 entries. But if you only gave $1, you got an entry, so you got a shot. And I did this as fair as I could. Now, I did this so archaic, and I'll get into that in a second. Before I do that, though, I really wanted to do this video live because I do my live shows on Thursday. I could not schedule a good time to do a live show today and do my normal call-in thing, so I will be doing a call-in show tomorrow. But what I'm doing today, obviously, is premiering this. It's the next best thing next to doing a live show because you can still chat. You can still donate through Super Chat on the premieres as well. And, of course, I can still communicate with you during the premiere because I can communicate with you in the chat room. So I've been playing around with it the past couple days. I think it's really cool. I still do prefer to do the live call-in shows over a premiere. So tomorrow night I am planning on doing a live call-in show to supplement for today's show that I normally do. But also before I start, I want to give I don't thank you guys enough. Whether you're a viewer, a subscriber, a commenter, another video maker, the list of subscribers goes on and on. You know, a lot of people abandon these YouTube channels, especially football-related YouTube channels, sort of like when the season ends. I mean, if you're getting a lot of traffic onto your videos during the football season, you'll see that go way down. Ask any video maker. When the offseason hits, there's a certain group of people that just check out. So all you guys that stick around during the offseason and comment and like and interact in the live chats and interact in the comment section, I can't thank you enough. There's just too many of you to name. You all know who you are. I've got a couple of new moderators to my channel that I added. I added Dennis Wilson. Dennis, don't let me down, sir. Dennis, you're one of the biggest trolls on YouTube, but Dennis has been participating on my YouTube channel almost since the very beginning. And he's, quite frankly, he's one of my favorite subscribers, as much of a tool he can be. So, Dennis, don't let me down, sir. But you are now a moderator. Also, who is the other one? JC69, I also made a moderator. And there's a lot of you that I would love to make moderators. And I'm slowly weeding out some of the people that have been moderators for a long time and aren't participating that much anymore. So every time I get rid of one or two, I'm going to add one or two more. So there's a long list of people that I would love to make moderators. I don't need 50 moderators at the size of my channel. So if you're one of these people that you feel like you should be a moderator and you're not a moderator, believe me, I know who all of you are that participate. I know. So you don't have to tell me. I already know, and just you'll get it eventually. If you even care. Some of you may not even care. But as far as some of the YouTubers that have been supportive to me over the past, this year, really since the beginning, but particularly this past football season and even during this past off season. I'm just going to run through that list real quick. Obviously, my man Catfish from the Volunteer Roadshow, he's at the top of the list. NMD TV, Mark Rogers TV was on his show last week for the first time. I'm scheduled to do something with him also again tomorrow. Cody from the Cat Chronicles, Bad Dog 7676, The Entertainer Talking Sports, Alonzo 1219, Spencer from Rover Sports, Josh and Sean from the Sports Fury, Jet Central, Philly 500, UCF Jaguar, my man Bobby Durkins, Small Vol, Falcons Fury, and also the people that I've had on from fans from teams that, I'm doing these segments with fans from other teams during the offseason. I had the Missouri fan on the other day. He was great. I've had, listen, I can't remember every single one I've had on, but you all know, if you've ever been a guest on my show or had me on your show or something like that, or if you just come out and comment, thank you, from the bottom of my heart. I can't thank you enough. I wish I could send everybody something. I really wish I could send you guys more than what I'm sending you as far as these contests go. And I do have more lined up. So starting today, or actually starting yesterday, technically starting in the 1st of on March is when it started, but anybody that signs up for the Patreon page between now and April 1st, I'm going to do another $50 Visa gift card giveaway for that. And I'm also going to do another Super Chat contest the same way I'm doing for this month. So you can donate through Super Chat anytime from today, right now, through the 1st of April, and you can be entered into that. I'm going to do the exact same thing this time that I did this past month, and every dollar you donate gets you one entry into this. And so without further ado, now once I finish doing these drawings, I am going to talk a little bit about football. There's something I want to talk about as far as the Panthers and Antonio Brown is concerned. Now, look, if you guys thought you were dealing with an artistic person here, this is sad and pitiful. I know there's like those computer programs where you can like have it pick out of a hat for you, and it, it's all cool and pops up on the screen. I'm old school, man. So I had to borrow a bunch of school supplies from Peete Jr. to do this. I was like, son, you got some notebook paper? I wanted construction paper to make it look better, but I was like, whatever. You don't have construction paper? You got any notebook paper? He's like, yeah, it's in my book bag. I'm like, all right, you got a pencil? Yeah, it's in my book bag. I'm like, you got some scissors? So what I did was I literally made like a grid and cut these names up. And so it's kind of hard to see. So I used a Halloween pumpkin, a candy bowl for the Super Chat because I had like 200 entries or something in there. And you can see each one of these pieces of paper has somebody's name on it. Okay. Right. And there's a whole bunch of them in here. There's a whole ton of them. And I mixed them up real good. I'm going to mix them up good again before we do this. And then for the Super Chat, for the Patreon contest, I just had 2 guys for that. Each had 2 entries. So there's only four entries in the hat for that. And each guy's got his name on one of those pieces of paper once. So it's only 4. And that's a Clemson hat because both my Patreon members that signed up this past month are Clemson fans, both Border Bob and DeGoat Watson, both Clemson faithful. So we'll start with that one. So for the Shiny Gold $50 prepaid Visa gift card to the Patreon member, I'm going to mix them up here. Look. Mix them up, no funny business. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my head to the side here. There's really no good way to do this. You can't make this look good on camera. I'm going to go ahead and mix it up a little bit more. Look the other way. And I'm just going to pick one. And so good luck to the winner. Got one here. And it looks like it's a DW, and that stands for DeGoat Watson. Everybody see that? So you know there's no funny business going on here. I thought Border Bob was going to run away with this thing because all the way until the last day of February, he was the only one that signed up. So I was already planning on giving this $50 Visa card to Border Bob. Border Bob, you should have you need to holler at DeGoat Watson and tell him he screwed up your $50 Visa card. So DeGoat Watson, I think I have your address through Patreon. And if I do, I'll go ahead and get that card out to you. If for some reason you didn't leave your address in the Patreon thing, I'll check on it. But if not, then get in touch with me, sir, so you can give me your mailing address, and I'll go ahead and get this $50 Visa gift card out to you. And thanks to both of you so much. And, of course, Border Bob and DeGoat Watson, after your 3-month period is up of being on Patreon, I'll send you both your shirts. And when I buy these shirts for the Patreon members or hats or whatever it is, I buy a nice one. I don't go on and buy the $5 one. I buy something that I would buy for myself. You can ask Billy Dawson. You can ask Tiger Nation. I sent them their shirts a couple of months ago, and I think they really liked them. I hope they did anyway. So thank you to both to Goat Watson and Border Bob. And congratulations to Goat Watson on the $50 Visa gift card. You are the man, sir. Hopefully I don't spend this before I send it out. All right, so without further ado, give me a drum roll here. It's a pretty pitiful drum roll. All right, so I got a ton of names in here. I just named off 15 different names. All right, so you see, look inside here. Well, if I can get it. See all those pieces of paper in there? There's a ton of them. I'm going to mix them up real good. Show you what I'm doing here. I'm just mixing them up. Mixing them up. All right. So, I'm going to reach in there. I'm going to reach all the way down to the bottom. Maybe I'll reach back up to the top again. Maybe I'll reach down to the bottom. See whichever one comes out. All right, I got a name here. So the winner of the Super Chat contest, and the winner of this will be getting either a shirt of their team, whatever their team is. It could be an NFL team. If it's a baseball team you want, whatever. Just let me know what sports team you want. I'll send you a shirt. Or if you prefer not to have a T-shirt, I can send you a hat, either a fitted hat or a snapback hat or one of these like clamp hats. You just let me know, and we'll do it. Let's see what the name on here is. Oh, my God. All right, so you guys aren't going to be happy about this because he already won something for me last month. It's Catfish. Look at that. CF, Catfish. Catfish is the winner of the Super Chat contest. I know Small Ball is not going to be happy about that, but listen. I did promise Small Ball, since he gave a $100 Super Chat, I'm sending him a T-shirt either way. So, Small Ball, you still win, even though you didn't win. And Catfish, listen, sir, I'm gonna send you. I'll send you the shirt, sir. Send me your size. I don't know if I have your address or not. I'll talk to you on the phone about it. Anyway, Catfish is the winner, and so you guys don't think I cheated on this because I actually did not think Catfish was going to win this. But he did have 60 entries, though. But you can see if I take a handful of these things, just so you know I'm not messing around. Look at the vast majority of them. Small Vol. Tiger Nation. Billy Dawson. SEC Football Tube. Catfish. Alan V. So they're all in here. I wasn't, definitely wasn't rigged like the NFL. Catfish won's fair and square. I mean, he's lucky, I guess. So Catfish, I'll get with you. Congratulations to Catfish. He did give me $60 worth of Super Chats, which is doesn't go unnoticed. I really appreciate that. And of course, congratulations to Small Vol and the rest of you. And again, if you donate today through April 1st, we'll do another drawing next month, and good luck to everybody. When I get to a point where I get at least 20 Patreon members, I think right now there's only 5. So I have Billy Dawson, Tiger Nation, Catfish, Border Bob, and DeGoat Watson. That's my 5 Patreon members as of right now. When I hit 20, that's my goal during the off season. Once I hit 20, I'll do a bigger giveaway. I'll probably give away like a hover helmet or something a little more expensive. For those of you who don't know what a hover helmet is, it's one of those little magnetic helmets that like spins. I actually want one for myself, and I may buy one for myself too at that time. But anyway, that's probably what I'm going to give away when I hit 20 Patreon members. Thanks to all the guys that are out there promoting my Patreon page too. I mean, it really blows me away that you guys would even give $1, let alone join the Patreon page. So you're all amazing. You're all fantastic. And congratulations to the winners. Now that we've got that out of the way. And do you see how poor look at this. It looks like a 5-year-old did this. It's literally little pieces of notebook paper cut in squares. And they're not even squares. They're, I don't know, unequal rectangles, I guess is what you call them. All right, so now that that's out of the way, I want to talk a little bit about this Antonio Brown thing. So Colin Cowherd, everybody knows who Colin Cowherd is. Listen, I rarely agree with Colin Cowherd on anything. I think he's one of these, he sort of like thinks he wants to be Howard Stern, as far as sports are related, except he's not particularly funny like Howard Stern is. And I think he thinks he's edgy, but he's not particularly edgy. He's very biased. He pretends as if he's not. He's a West Coast homer. He loves these West Coast players. Anytime there's a West Coast player coming out of college, he hypes him up going into the NFL. And he doesn't give credit. He's not a big fan of the SEC or the ACC players. He'll try to downplay them, but build up teams like USC, UCLA, and Oregon. And listen, that's his thing. That's his shtick. He's a West Coast guy. Fine, whatever. But I rarely ever take what he says seriously. I think a lot of what he says is just trying to get a reaction from people, and that's his thing. And listen, he's he's doing pretty well at it as far as how much he's getting paid. So I'm not hating on that. But I watched this segment today, and I actually posted the link on Twitter, I think, because somebody asked about it. He was eliminating teams where he thought Antonio Brown would end up if he ends up leaving Pittsburgh, which it looks like he probably is going to leave Pittsburgh. For anybody who didn't see that interview that he did with ESPN over the weekend, go watch it. It's like an hour-long interview. The interview's like an hour long, and they also did a segment where they go back to his hometown in Liberty City, Florida, in Miami, and go around and visit his family members and his friends from the block and old high school friends and all that stuff. And it's interesting, Antonio Brown is an interesting character and an amazing football player. Some people, are turned off by his antics and they think he's immature. I'm indifferent to all that. Listen, there's a lot of people out there. They're like, I wouldn't want Antonio Brown, the money that he costs and his attitude and all that. And I get all that. It's a risk. Whoever gets him is going to be paying a high price for a very risky player that could potentially cause trouble in the locker room. He's got to go to the right situation. Now, as far as the Panthers are concerned, I've been saying for years, we have always lacked a receiver with the talent of Antonio Brown or DeAndre Hopkins or Julio Jones. If you look at the NFC South in itself, you have Atlanta, the Saints, Carolina, and New Orleans, right? All three of the other teams other than the Panthers have number one elite wide receivers, top 10 wide receivers in the league. You got Mike Evans in Tampa Bay. You got Michael Thomas in New Orleans. You got Julio Jones in Atlanta. And who do you have in Carolina? Man, you don't have one. Now, I'm not a big fan of going out and drafting wide receivers high because I think most teams have other big needs where they need to spend their first and second round picks on defensive line or offensive line or something like that. I don't believe in wide receivers going high in the draft. And the Panthers have done this in recent years. I'd say maybe 3 out of the last 5 years they've taken a wide receiver with their first pick, and it almost never works out. Kelvin Benjamin was a bust. Devin Funchess is now going to be gone. DJ Moore we took last year with our first pick. I think he's going to be a good player, but still, was he worth a first-round pick? Probably not. So if you can acquire somebody like Antonio Brown, who I believe is a top 3 in all of the NFL receiver, if you look at production, he might be number 1. I mean, you can argue whether it's him or DeAndre Hopkins or Julio Jones or Michael Thomas, whatever. You're splitting hairs at that point, or Odell Beckham. Bottom line is the guy's a baller, and he's got another at least 5 years of balling in him, and he's going to get paid by somebody. But so Colin Cowherd did this segment where he was eliminating teams. He put all 32 teams up on the screen, and he started eliminating the ones that wouldn't be a good fit for Antonio Brown for different reasons. It was either their direct competition with Pittsburgh, so you eliminate that division, and you eliminate the Patriots because that's somebody that Pittsburgh battles with in the AFC every year as far as the AFC title. Then you start going down salary cap. This team can't afford him. This team can't afford him. Then he starts going through the teams that already came out and said, we don't want him. Right off the bat. And so he eliminated all of them. Anyway, he narrowed it down to like 2 or 3 teams. The last, what were the last 3 teams? One was Pittsburgh, obviously, because he's still not out of there yet. One was Carolina, and the other was Seattle. That was the last 3 he came down to. He went ahead and eliminated Seattle and Pittsburgh, and he said that he thought that Carolina would be the best fit for Antonio Brown. And the reasons he gave were actually spot on. Now, listen, if you're a Carolina fan and you don't want Antonio Brown, that's fine. I'm not even saying I necessarily want him, but he's an intriguing prospect for us to pick up. He does come with a lot of money. But if you look at it, the parallels between Pittsburgh and Carolina, you've got a big, huge quarterback, Big Ben, big quarterback, Cam Newton, big quarterback. Big Ben, big personality, Cam Newton, big personality. A Le'Veon Bell type of player in Christian McCaffrey, a guy who can run and catch the ball out of the backfield. A solid defense year in, year out, both in Pittsburgh and in Carolina. You have a head coach in Ron Rivera who knows how to handle the big personalities. Also, he didn't say this. This is me saying this. Antonio Brown in a smaller market like Carolina get a little bit less media scrutiny, and maybe, I'm not saying he will, but maybe that'll calm him down a little bit. And I think that when you look at the type of players that Carolina's been going after recently, some controversial type of players, there's certain teams out there that will not touch a controversial player. They just won't do it. New England's one that is known to take controversial players. Obviously, they took Randy Moss when he was in sort of the downslide of his career. They took Josh Gordon last year after all his problems at Cleveland. But Carolina just signed Ed Reed, who was blackballed for a couple of years from the NFL for the whole kneeling thing. And so Ron Rivera seems to be able to – listen, I'm not a huge Ron Rivera fan, but he is somebody that knows how to handle these big personalities. He's been doing it with Cam Newton for a while, and he did it with Steve Smith when Steve Smith was there for a short time when they were there together. So I think it's a good fit for him. Now, I don't think he'll go to Carolina, but it is interesting. There's one thing. Marty Herney, the general manager for Carolina, has been cutting a lot of fat. He's been creating a lot of cap space over the past few weeks, and nobody really knows what his plans are. Who's he going to? They're going to get somebody in free agency, and the amount of people that they're cutting and creating the amount of cap space that they're creating makes me think that they might be going after a big guy. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be Antonio Brown. It could be Jadeveon Clowney. It could be Earl Thomas. It could be a lot of different big contract guys. But he's one of them, and that is a position of need for Carolina, whether you like it or not. So I wouldn't draft a wide receiver in the first round, but if the money allowed for it and we were able to fill the rest of our needs, the holes in our defense and the holes in our offensive line, if we're able to fill those in the draft, if we draft well, and we have the money to go out and sign an Antonio Brown, then I would be for it. That's if we fill the needs that we can fill in the draft. Otherwise, forget about it. But if we can, it would be worth it. I don't want the DK Metcalf. Some people are saying DK Metcalf with our first pick. No, stop it. Please don't draft a wide receiver in the first round. Please don't do it. Anyway, I thought it was interesting, and it blew my mind that Colin Cowherd actually had an actual thought that made sense that pertained to my favorite team, the Panthers. Anyway, I guess that's it, guys. Thanks for tuning in. You're all amazing. You're all fantastic. Congratulations to the contest winners. Keep pounding. Go Tigers. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the live call-in show. And again, I apologize for not being able to do that today. But thanks for tuning in. You're all amazing. Have a great day. Pigskin Pete checking out.